It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D, Turtle Day.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule, that guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty. It's his day, as you might know, March 26th. As a matter of fact, we got Chase in the Chase Lounge. We got Spenmo Racks in the building. Spencer, what up?
Hello.
Good to have you all with us. By the way, jump into that YouTube chat. And we are, as you might imagine, we're going to do a lot. We're doing a couple segments on it because, D-Mac, through all the years you and I have been friends, over a decade, and we've touched on it before, but I've never got to ask you the shit I want to ask you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Real question.
Real question. No, just like from being with teams and understanding like the behind the curtain stuff and all that kind of stuff. Like I have questions that I want to ask you.
I got answers, Neil.
I know you do. I know you do. And if you guys have questions about it too, jump into the chat because that's what we're going to be doing here today for the first couple segments.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
As you can see, and I'm wearing my Game Over Turtle. Neil's wearing his
Yes,
Game
questionable
Over Turtle.
tee, shout out.
We did not. That's what page we're on. We did not send out an email. But, Spenny, what's the email here?
You can do admin at woodwardsports.com.
Admin?
Admin, yeah.
Yeah. If you have any of the Turtle shirts, this is 28-year anniversary, but you represent your shirt, my friend Patty Reed. Shout out to you, Patty, who just sent me wearing her Sweet Revenge shirt. I'd like to see everybody who's representing who wants to do it. I'd love to see a collage if you send them in. So
yeah.
This is our day. This is our day. This is as much of the day that, to me, I call it Red Wing D-Day. For lack of a better term, because I can explain BC and AD from that date. But we were all sort of the pride. I was the one that was there. I'm the one that, obviously, a lot of us, right? It was not just me. You know, when we break it down, it couldn't have happened without, Igor and Shanny and Bernie and all that other stuff. So that was one gravitas to it, right? But what came out of it, is absolutely epic. So the fact that we were able to use that, right, and catapult us to be, Stanley Cup champions is what it's all about.
No, and there are some things that go into it too because I haven't seen it. And look, in the chat, by the way, Tammy Chin says ESPN still has the Unrivaled available to view. Not that I'm watching it right now. But no, and look, the shows are out there. I know Vice Network.
Yeah, So
you're doing a watch thing tonight, right?
I'm doing a private watch party, actually. So this is Vice TV's debuting a new series tonight at 10 o'clock called The Grudge. They're starting out with Kobe versus Shaquille O'Neal, right? Some of the greatest grudges in sports. On April 16th, which will probably, be promoing up until then. April 16th is the Detroit Red Wings versus Colorado Avalanche. So another layer 28 years later to, one of the greatest rivalries, if not the greatest in sports. So you can check that out.
People are off and running. And look, like I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I'm not. We're going into this because I can see the excitement for the people. Jay Hillard in the super chat, by the way. D-Mac, thank you for the birthday gift back in 1996. Birthday party full of teenage boys and their dads cheering your destruction. Hashtag revenge for Chris.
That's what it's all about. I love to hear words like this year, and you mentioned that I'm doing a sort of a private event with a lot of people that have supported throughout. But I'm gonna do, if anybody has seen Grind Time with Darren McCarty back in the day, sort of the my idea of what a podcast is. But this year I'm gonna collect where were you?
Where were you?
I know where I was. Where were you? So please. Get in the chat thread. Tell us where you are, because just like you said, Jay Hillard, that's what it's all about, to be able to share. That's why we are all in this together.
Yes, and So I'll start, I guess, D-Mac. I'll start. Where
Hold
was
on.
I?
After Art Vandelay said, absolutely, I hope everybody took a clod this morning after the morning coffee.
Right. And don't forget, too, we have the stuff, speaking of that, because the crowd has grown throughout the years, I'm sure, for you, right, D-Mac? I'm sure there was about 130,000 people that were at that game now. And on the shop.woodwardsports.com link, we have the I Was There shirt. So if you were, really there, or you kind of think you were there, go to shop.woodwardsports.com. How many people, in your estimation, were at that game now, D-Mac? About 100,000?
Well, when I do my stand-up, I make the correlation that I didn't realize that Joe Louis was as big as Michigan Stadium.
It is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
106,000 people we're up to right now. But no matter what, but that's where it is, no matter where you watched it from. Because here's the big thing that blows me away, too, is when kids like Spenny, kids like Chase that weren't old enough to experience it, even though they might have been alive or not, but they are well versed in the history of the team and what it meant, right? That just tells me the culture and the family and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, the most incredible thing right now, Neil, it's 28 years ago.
Does it feel like it?
I don't even know. Like some
Russell Wilson and America's quarterback have joined forces. Yes, Russell Wilson did sign with the New York Giants to join Jameis Winston. All joking aside, thank you for that moment, D-Mac. Freddie Felt 313 in the Super Chat. D-Mac's fist as iconic as Joe Louis's fist. He's a legend.
Slip the left, Bernie.
Patrick in the chat. The bench is my favorite part of it, low key. So, but yeah, I mean, just it shaped your life, right? Like that moment has become as iconic of a moment. I mean, D-Mac, BS aside, friendship aside, all that kind of stuff. Just as a Detroit sports fan growing up, if you look at iconic moments in Detroit sports, you have Maglio's home run, Tayshaun's block has become that to some degree.
Gibby's home run in 84.
Gibby's home run in 84. Vinnie Johnson's shot.
.7.
All those different things have become kind of the lore. This anniversary, D-Mac, has as much juice as any of them. Like, I'm talking, D-Mac, as crazy as that is, this is one of the iconic Detroit sports moments, if not the most iconic.
Well, because
do you realize that?
Well, when you look at the moments, what did it mean? What did you get from it? And we can go back and, like I said, Red Wing D-Day or whatever, but this is the Ides of March. This is the turning for this franchise and the organization in hindsight, right? Because of what it meant. But I always say this, Neil, and I think we're going to show the penalty minute list or whatever.
Yes.
And the fact that I got 4 minutes for roughing, 10-minute misconduct, stayed in the game, slayed the dragon, as Spenny said yesterday. You can't get the girl without slaying the dragon, or else you get fire up your ass. But the fact is, and then scoring the overtime winner. When I scored the overtime winner, and there's an embrace behind the net, me, Shanny, and Vladdy right there. There was this emotion of, and the only way I can explain it is that deep breath. It's gonna be all right. Don't know what that means, but it's gonna be all right. And it wasn't only felt in the team, but it's felt in the arena, in the city, in the state, in the country, in the world, in the universe of Red Wing fans. Like, that was the moment that we were tough enough, that we weren't the United Nations, that I think this was that moment. Like, we all have these feelings in sports, and then to be able to parlay that into a career of 4 Stanley Cups, so this is where, and I said it yesterday, when people ask me your favorite moment or whatever else, and I said the one thing that has to happen is at that moment on the ice when Forsberg and Larionov started, I had to, whatever it was, but just stand up, right? And that was the moment of you're either, it's the fight or flight. Are you an action person? Is it July? And I decided to try to get sober for the first time. So I was sober through all this in the first year of trying to be sober. Got to beginning of March, and I knew the date was coming, but I was driving myself insane. And I tell everybody, please feel free to use this. I got down on my knees and I just said, God, I can't do this anymore. Just please, whatever happens, please let me be the messenger. You think he listened? I had to take action and know that that moment was the one I had wished for, right? And I wanted it so bad, right? Because I don't know if anybody's has had something happen to somebody that they love, in a wrongful way, right? It doesn't leave your mind about like revenge or anything, how you're going to do it. The gravitas being that this was in sports, right? And the fact that the bigger picture was we had to win the game. That's what we talk about. We had to win the game because Colorado owned us. So the fact that we got it all in one the greatest game in hockey history, in my opinion, 11 goals, 8 fights, overtime, all this and that. I'm eternally grateful. I'm eternally grateful for what it did for all of us. That was but that's the role, and I guess it just goes back to is that's, for me, being the kid that grew up in Leamington, Ontario, and been a Red Wings fan since, I was 5 years old and stuff like this. I mean, it is surreal. It's surreal.
And we're going to get into it even more, as a matter of fact. Charles with the big super chat. March 26, 97, I was in kindergarten traveling up to the UP for spring break. You're supposed to go south when you go on spring break, my friend. Anyway, talked with D-Mac twice at LCA and at the Woodward Sports tent at the 2024 NFL Draft. Dad and I got to talk to D-Mac with a picture together with him. Thank you for that moment, D-Mac. So shout out to Charles.
We'll be out April 4th, opening day, Detroit Opera House. We're doing a live show. We'll be down there. Come get pictures. Come hang out.
No, absolutely. So shout out to you, Charles. All right, let's do this. Let's take the break. Here's how I want to attack this, D-Mac. I want to talk about that day, the stakes. I want to talk about, because obviously it's premeditated, but something that I don't think a lot of people realized, game flow dictates when it happens. You don't get to choose when it happens. It's when the opportunity presents itself when it happens.
When, right, the guy next to you is more important to you than yourself, which means this isn't an individual, personal, like vendetta. Yes, it is, but there's something bigger at play here, and it's the whole, and it's winning. And it's winning, and it's a rivalry, and it's that fact. So you have to be, that's the biggest thing. Something was going to happen, but it had to play out. It had to play out. That's the whole key, is the way that organically it played out and let it play out. So that's, why I got away with doing some stuff that I do not condone. Except remember this. I was born in 1972, meaning I'm a Gen Xer, which means that I was raised by John Rambo, meaning that he drew first blood. Don't mess with me.
There it is. All right, let's talk about Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. They got the lease deals going for March. You got a couple days left, as a matter of fact. You want the 2025 Silverado Crew Cab for just $199 a month plus tax, or you want the SUV, the 2025 Equinox front-wheel drive, $249 a month plus tax. You'll scan the QR code on the screen above my head there. You can take a look at all the colors, the different stock that they have on hand. Heck, you can even start the buying or leasing process right then and there online. You guys know what it is. We've been out there many, many times. I bought my car from Feldman Chevrolet in Nova. I don't know what else I can say to you other than that. When it came time for me to buy a car, that's where I bought the car. So, again, they're the best Chevrolet dealer in the state of Michigan. That's been proven. Dealer of the year, time after time after time. Go see why. Go to Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Neil Rule here for Woodward merch. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. Oh yeah, look at that. The turtle line, the Darren McCarty Turtle Boxing Club t-shirt line is out there right now. So you want one hot off the presses, you can get them right now. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. Happy Turtle Day. We're back at it. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty here. It is March 26th. As you know, Chase is here. We got Spencer Raxter in the building. All of you in the chat. Chat explosive here today. Double G in the super chat. We're going to get to as many as we can, folks. You want to skip the line? Double G21 did that with the super chat. Most iconic beatdown in NHL history. Hanson brothers will be proud.
Oh, they were.
Thanks, D-Mac.
They told me that. They were.
I was going to say, you've talked to him about that.
Yeah. I've done a bunch of stuff with them.
All right, D-Mac, I want to break because this is going to be a couple segment thing. So if you want like Lions draft and stuff, you'll wait. That's just the way that it goes. This is one of the iconic, if not the most iconic moment in the history of Detroit sports. And Manugian Mansion, I'm going to get to I'll get to the questions, as we go. Right now, I just want to set the table and get this thing rolling. So March 26, 1997. I would imagine I'm a lot like every other sports fan, D-Mick. I've told you this privately. I've told you this publicly. I'm starting to question whether or not you guys can get it done. Real talk. I'm starting to question it. Colorado's a massive force, immensely talented. They are very good. And to just give everybody the setting for the table, like as it relates to in the game, because you talk about moments that happen, winnings first at hand. You guys were not in first place in the Central Division at the time. The Dallas Stars were in first place by a pretty good margin on that day. This is through March 26th, the standings. Stars have 94 points. You guys have 83 points. You've clinched a playoff spot and all that. The Coyotes have 75 points. They're in third place. Colorado, on the other hand, already has 101 points on the season. They're 46-19-9. They're rolling. They have a 26-point lead over the Oilers in the Pacific Division standings.
Good old Pacific back then.
They're rolling. They're a force. Like they just are. And D-Mac, I'm starting to question whether or not you guys can get it done. Now, obviously, what happened with Drapes at the end of the playoffs last year, that had not left everybody's mind for sure. This was not the first time you guys had played since that playoff game.
This was the fourth.
This was the fourth.
And we lost all three.
And D-Mac, that's where I want to start because the wins are important. And for those that don't know, this isn't like a video game, dude. It's not your beer league game. You guys are responsible to win hockey games, first and foremost. That's the job. What's the mood of the locker room? How much had it been discussed? Was it discussed ever?
It was never discussed. The only thing that was ever said, and Chase heard me say this the other day, was when I got Chris Draper out of the hospital with his jaw wired shut in 4 spots and a titanium plate in his cheekbone. There was only one thing ever said and one question asked, and they were both by me. We got in the car. I looked at him and I said, "Don't worry. I'll take care of it." Then I asked him where he wants to eat. Screw the ginger and stuff. The loaded question because he wanted to go to Andiamo's for gnocchi.
Yeah.
Right. So, which takes 4 hours, by the way, for a buddy all jacked up to eat plate of gnocchi, spending just if you're in that position.
Oh, yeah. I'll remember that.
I remember that. But no, because you got to go back, Neil. And you go back further. Let's go back to the beginning of my career, which is 93-94, win the President's Trophy, which means you're the best team in the league, and then you lose to San Jose in the first round. Then you come back, lockout season, supposed to be the big red machine, cruise all the way to the finals and get pumped by Jersey. Then you come back and set the league record, 62 wins, and we know what happens in Game 6 of the conference finals. Chris Draper gets hit from behind. We lose the series 6-4. Colorado goes on to win the cup. the next year, this is the year we're talking about.
Because, D-Mac, it popped in my head at that time after that game. I said, you know what? They're as talented as we are. They're as good as the Red Wings are.
Yes.
I gave that no credence whatsoever until after that series. I said, maybe we're just not as
they're
good
a
as
wagon, bro. They're a wagon. Look at their Hall of Fame teams. Pull up their rosters, stuff like this. And then the gravity to that season is we lost both games there, lost the first one at home. So I don't care where you are, rivalry. Like, think about your high school rivalry. Think about growing up, your sports rivalry. The only way out is through. Number one is we have to win the game. Number two is to get this guy back.
The baseline is you got to prove you can beat these
Baseline's
guys.
because we still, so that when we eventually think we're going to play them in the playoffs, right, we have to get through them in the conference finals. We have to mentally know that we can beat them. And the way that the game played out and the way that it's set up, so not only on the ice did we beat them, but we absolutely beat the living breaks off them, right? Vernie cuts Wall. I do that to Lemieux. Larionov injures Forsberg. He doesn't come back. So we dropped our manhood also. And then the way that it played out. So the gravitas, the most important thing of that game was not that fight. It was the fact that we won. Because I tell everybody, listen, if we were down, right, and it was late or whatever like that, then I would have done something stupid, and you probably would have been sending me commissary at Jackson State.
There you go. But D-Mac, because I did want to get into it as the game starts, and as you said, it wasn't discussed. It wasn't like it was pre-planned. You go do this, but you could anybody who was watching it. Well, when you roll out in
the unwritten rule. The unwritten code or whatever, like that where you just know you're in a group that if it could happen, I would get first crack. Like, it's the way that it breaks down, the way that, because if Shanny was me, then he would have gone straight for Lemieux because Foot grabbed me, but Shanny broke me loose. Like, it was we knew. And that's how tight we were. And that's what the culture was in the locker room. We knew that, like, if you're going to give me that shot at it, right? So
that was understood, right?
It was without even said. It was the unwritten rule. And that's what culture is, when you can, not only when the guy beside you means more to you, but when you can be when you're on the same wavelength. That's a different level too. So when push comes to shove.
When Severin and Jamie Pusher fight, like a couple minutes into
Which is Severin at the time is one of the toughest guys in the league. So shout out to Ross. We call him Ross. Jamie Push because he looked like Ross Geller from Friends. Okay. But shout out because that and that's what I mean. And Aaron Ward fought him later on in the game.
Did that change the vibes for the day?
It doesn't change the vibes, but because you knew you knew going in, it was in the air. Everybody, like, this game had all the gravitas to that there was something supposed to pop off. So this was just sort of the steam letting out of the kettle. Who would have thunk?
Let's do this because this is going to be the meat of the whole thing. Let's take the break right now, and then we'll come back, and I want to go to the 18-22 mark of the first period of that game. That's what I want to do when we come back. The moment's at hand. When your workout moment's at hand, go to Planet Fitness. We're live at the Planet Fitness Studios. You guys already know there's tons of locations. We had the CEO in the house yesterday. They're involved in the community. And the bottom line is, I'll never be a member at another gym because Planet Fitness has everything you need. Trust me, guys. I've been in this a long time. I've accomplished a ton of fitness goals, and I've done it with the help of Planet Fitness. Tons of cardio equipment, tons of weight equipment. You're not going to be standing around waiting for stuff. There's tons of it there. There's an army of the stuff. However you want to do it, if you want to do the cardio, if you want to do the weights, if you're into plyometrics, if you're into stretching, all that. There's stretch zones, stretch stations. If you're pressed for time, they have a 30-minute circuit. The facilities are clean. The locker room's clean. The showers are clean, sparkling clean. As a matter of fact, it checks all the boxes, and a Black Card membership is still just $24.99 a month. It's actually insane. If you're going to join a gym, there's not another option, everybody. You can do the research, or you can just listen to me, save you a lot of time right there. It's up to you, however you want to do it, but we're both going to end up back at Planet Fitness. Go to planetfitness.com or just pull in the parking lot on the way home. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Jeff Pierce here every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trusted for 4 Stanley Cups. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here. Keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Call 248-426-9944.
All right, back at it. March 26th, everybody. It's the anniversary. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. Perhaps you're familiar with his work. And we're taking a long-form discussion about this. Chase here in the Chase Lounge. We have Spencer Raxter in the building. All of you in the chat, if you want to skip the line, use the super chat. Cannons reloaded. Colorado had Red Wings suck bumper stickers on every sports fan's car. I would wear my Fedorov jersey into bars. That's right. Sergey. IT Hips with the super chat as well. Thanks, D-Mac, for Fight Night at the Joe. It was also the turning point that propelled the Red Wings to their first cup in 42 years. That moment still means so much to all the Red Wings fans who waited so long for that championship. And yes, we'll get to that too after we get through the game and get through the season. Aaron to the Stone. Neil, this recap is effing electric. D-Mac giving me goosebumps with his masterful retelling of that historic night. 1,000% rewatching the ESPN 30 for 30 tonight. Red Wings for life, baby. And so, D-Mac, let's get into it. And I sent it to Spencer. The vibes of that game, the penalty summary for that game. In particular, I want to go to the 18-22 mark. Look at the this was all the penalties in that game, in a 60-minute game. The two circled there, D-Mac. You see the list there at the 18-22 mark. Where do you want to go? The fact that you got 4 minutes for roughing? Or I guess just take me through the moments before that, the seconds before that. How did you know?
How did I know?
That this is it.
Oh, so right here. So it's offside, and Larionov and Forsberg, right? Like think about it. The gravitas of the situation. It's not always your strongest, your fastest, your best player, but maybe
when Larionov fights, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
It's not even fight when he throws the punch, right? Like automatically, it just like somebody hit the alarm button. But I remember looking over, my first reaction, and it was sort of, I guess, and if you've fought in your life, if you've ever been in that, right, and if you do it, there's this anxiety, and there's this until the moment it comes, then there's this calm. And I remember looking over going, oh my gosh, looks like puppies on Christmas morning. That's so cute. Like, because they're not going to hurt each other.
Right.
But I knew, right, Lemieux was on the ice. And that was my key. So I know that he's the furthest away. So I'm thinking I'm going to go after him, whatever, like this. But Adam Foote grabs me. Stronger than heck.
And he knew, right?
I mean, everybody knows that if it pops up, like guys know who's on the ice and who's going to do what or whatever. But what Foote didn't know is that Shanny came through, and Shanny didn't just grab him. Shanny came through with a double arm, like broke both my arms loose. And the minute he did that, just on the same page as
you spun away, yeah.
I turned, and here's the irony. I turned, and God rest his soul, Dan Shackey, the linesman, who was the linesman for the Draper for the for the game that Drapes got his face crushed in the playoff, sort of skated by me. Well, I don't even think he was looking through me.
Yeah.
As I went by him, and when I went around him to whatever else, and this is what I tell everybody: it's when you wish for that moment, and the difference between a cold cock and a sucker punch, sucker punch from behind, but a cold cock, the one you've wanted, the one you've seen 10,000 million times or whatever, right? And the irony to it all, Neil, I'm a lefty, right? I eat left, I write left, I punch left, except in the folded him into a turtle, which is a lie. Because Claude even said that he didn't turtle. He was knocked out. It's the hardest he's ever been hit. That's what he said. And I said, well, thank God. I can't hit you any harder. But I wasn't done. And I swear to God, the thing, I don't know. Patrick Wallace probably got DNA on that jersey because he comes out of his net and he almost grabs me, and him and Shanny, go for ice capades and follies, and they're jumping in the air, and Bernie comes out of the net. I don't know that because I'm focused on Lemieux. I'm not satisfied. I'm trying to shove my left fist through his skull and rip his heart out through his nasal passage. Anatomically, I know I'm married to a nurse that it's impossible. The best part about that is his face sort of splatted, his nose on the Comerica Bank sign, right? How do I know that? Because I was friends with Mark Gregory, the president of Comerica Bank, and he had me sign it and hung it over his desk. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I wasn't done there. And this is where, for whatever reason it is, and if you watch in Unrivaled, it's the only time that till I saw the video, I would never admitted it. I need this man so hard in the head, leaning against the boards, that to this day I left a welt. So he's got to see it every morning. If you look at Claude Lemieux's head, you meet him, he's got a welt from where I need him. But when I did that, right when I went to do that, the ref turned his head. So we have plausible deniability, right? Fast forward, I had to do a phone call with Colin Campbell, the league's disciplinary, the next day. Dan Shackey, the same guy, the linesman who had me, testified that I was off balance. He had me off balance, so that's, if anything came up, it was his fault. Which means, and Brian Burke has said it, if the league and the teams, don't regulate stuff, the players will. That's the old school game. And God bless Brian Burke being the head of the discipline and everything else. It sort of was that old school way of everything was what the universe was wrong. The hockey world was wrong for what Lemieux did, and everybody saw that. So him being the most hated player around the league didn't hurt. At the end of the day, back to the question, 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct, that's the greatest theft ever.
Woodward Sports Chat through the Super Chat. Mark Lorette, this rivalry made me fall in love with hockey. D-Mac instantly became a Detroit hero. Fight night at the Joe taught an 11-year-old me to always stick up for my boys. Manugi Nanchin asked what was the ref's name again. But D-Mac, I want to back up to the ref thing of it.
Well, and both Dvorsky, the ref,
yes,
and Shackey, the linesman, were the ref and the linesman of the Game 6, the year before. So
there is a code. I get what I'm driving at. There's a code.
There's a code, and there's different things like that.
And there's justice. There's a justice to it, and it's street justice in this case. It's hockey street justice,
and it really is. As far as, and it used to be that way. That if it justified that, like I said, the hierarchy, meaning who was in charge of the league, and this is like. And I know it was Bettman's hockey, but the fact that Brian Burke was an old school tough guy, and appreciated that, was the fact that things were out of line, and they needed to get back in line. So if this was what to happen, I firmly expect to be kicked out of the game, right? So the fact is, if I'm going to stay in the game, might as well be effective. And I remember second period off the face, I fought Adam Deadmarsh. We fought. There's more fights in the game and stuff like that. But the fact to get 4 minutes for roughing and 10-minute misconduct is some of the greatest thievery ever.
Woodward Sports Chat as well. where was it? Detroit Dabber in the Super Chat. D-Mac, did anyone tell Mike Knuble after the game that not every night is like this? Insane game to make your NHL debut. Welcome to the NHL. And Dabber, I never knew that.
Yeah,
I never
we
put
talk
that
about
two and
that
two
all the
together.
time. Welcome to the show, kid.
What did he say about that? Like, through the years, what has he said about that?
You know, just amazing. I mean, it's your first game, so you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and stuff like this. And you got to know Knuble. He's got sort of a dry sense of humor, and he wouldn't be too rattled by it. And the reason I see it in the chat, Scotty benched Joey. No, he didn't bench Joey that game. Joey had 102 fever that wanted to come down the rink and play, and Scotty wouldn't let him come down even for the morning skate and stuff like this. So it was more of the fact of that he was unavailable. Right. So then not that he was benched.
Well, and the sickness thing, like this is what I've learned from like traveling with teams. It's you can't
because it's going to
put them in there because you could cost you 3 more guys.
Yeah, and it will. And if you're lucky, it only costs you 3 at a time.
Bingo. Like, and that's real. Everybody, just trust me on that one. It is absolute. When somebody gets sick, man, because you're around each other so much in tight spaces, in practice, all of that, it will work its way. It will work its way through. So D-Mac, so it all goes on like that, and you touched on this, like you weren't done. You weren't done after that. After all that shook out, when you found out about this, about Mike Vernon, and everything that was going on around you, and everything that was going on, Patrick Waugh and Vernon fighting and all that stuff as well. Obviously, Larry Anoff got his penalty as well. Forsberg did also. When did you, I guess, when you were able to assess everything else that went around? Because you said you were laser focused, you were locked in, you had no idea what else was going on. When did you learn
in the locker room during like right after, went into the video room and I'm watching it played back and I'm going, what's going on? Holy shit! Like this, like I had no idea the goalies were fighting. That's how locked in I was.
15 seconds later, and I didn't remember this too till I looked back at it. And we'll get to this and then we'll ride into the break. Konstantinov and Deadmarsh fight. 15 seconds later of gameplay. This is like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
But 15 seconds later, Deadmarsh with the cross check. I had forgotten about that as well. And Konstantinov wasn't we wasn't dealing with that.
No, not at all. I mean, that here's the thing, all in. I mean, for better, this is gladiators in the arena right now. Like, this is all in. And I always say the best part, looking back to all of this, is their king and our king got to stay in their thrones. And everybody's in
and move the chess
Sakic.
pieces, yeah.
Eisman and Sakic, right? Like, leave them alone. And we did.
That's
and let
understood.
all of us, right? Let Vladdy run Deadmarsh, and Deadmarsh cross-check him, and let's all of us fight, but keep it into the peons.
Absolutely. All right, let's do this to stay on the clock. Let's take the break now. I want to get into the rest of the game next segment.
I was going to say, I got the game winner in that game and
Beautiful.
the game winner, or the Stanley Cup clincher goal. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love it, Spenny. You're mixing and scratching, Lord from above. I'm happy with this, man. Like I've never been able to talk to him like this before.
This is
And
awesome.
it's a lot of fun. Tell them about social channels.
I will tell them about social channels. If you want to follow Woodward Sports, you should do it on all social media platforms. Just go to YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, wherever there is a social media presence, Woodward Sports has a big one. So tap in and follow Woodward Sports at Woodward Sports on all social media platforms.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. The bats are hot, and the weather is getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports. Woodward Sports is live in downtown Detroit for Tigers opening day.
This one's blasted. Out toward the bullpen.
Live from the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House.
Way back, forget it. Out of here.
Brought to you by Mad Packs, Jars, and White Claw. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. And here's a welcome offer for you. We're getting down to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament, and you can get involved with Caesar Sportsbook with a special offer. Use the promo code Woodward1000. Here's the deal. Scan the QR code on the screen. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. You can set up your account, make your first deposit using the promo code Woodward1000. Then you get to make your first bet. If your first bet loses, your very first bet, if it loses, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet as long as you use the code Woodward1000 when you make your first deposit. You can do that all the way up to $1,000. So everyone's a Michigan basketball fan again. So go ahead, take them to win the tournament, man. The whole thing right there. If you lose, you get it back as a free bonus bet. So why not? It's the best of both worlds. Caesar Sportsbook, one of the OGs in the sports betting game. The app is clean. It doesn't glitch out on you. And it's Caesars, man. All the markets are there. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Back at it, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty here. Big D Energy. Spend more racks in the building. Chasing the Chase Lounge. All of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread. Get your thoughts out there. And again, D-Mac and I have never gone like this in depth with it before. But, you know, I want to do it because it's March 26th, and we're talking the rivalry, and we're talking the game, and we're talking about the moment where I believe that the entire I guess you would say, path of the Red Wings was altered that day. And
Trajectory?
The whole trajectory, everything was altered that day because I came out, and I've said this to DMAC before, coming so close and then losing to the Devils. And then, no problem. They'll come back the next year, win the President's Trophy, set the record. One of the greatest regular season team ever in the history of the NHL. Didn't matter. Avalanche beat them. Obviously, what happened with Chris Draper at the end. I question whether or not it could happen. I question whether or not the Red Wings were as good as the Avalanche. The Avalanche had beaten them every single time leading up to this game, so it was important for so many facets. But we pick it back up, D-Mac. First period's over. The fight's done. They scraped the blood off the ice to some degree, as best they could, I guess. But then all it takes is 4 seconds into the second period. Then it's Brendan Shanahan and Adam Foote. And D-Mac, these are heavyweights here, going at it here.
Oh, yeah, they fought all the time.
Yeah.
But they, and a lot of respect and whatever, and that just went to what happened at the end with Shanny grabbing Watt. You know what I mean? It's like the code of the game. And that's
Shanahan had to pay for putting his hands on the goalie, right, to some degree.
Well, yeah.
And Adam Foote's eyes.
Foot stepping up, and because at the time, that's being smart too, right? So Shanny and Foote don't want to give an opportunity for second fight and altercation or getting kicked out, or give the ref an opportunity if there's like 8 fights going on, then guys get tossed because they know what it means to their team. So to stay in the game, and they just probably agreed first shift, second period, let's go. That's the code of the game by two Warriors.
Right. And so this happens, as we said, 4 seconds, and you guys are losing 1-0 at the end of the first period, by the way.
Yeah,
and then
I was on the ice for that Kaminsky snipe off the face-off.
Well, don't worry.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, but don't worry. Sergey's got you. He ties the game about 20 seconds after the Shanahan. Oh, Sergey, by the way, a goal, an assist, 7 shots in the game. Through all that's going on, Sergey.
Leave him alone. we gotta let the planes fly.
No, absolutely. Colorado scores to take the lead. You guys score to tie the game. This is all happening in the second period. This is all in the first 3 minutes. Fedorov scores to tie the game. Kaminsky scores his second on the power play to give them the lead back, 1:12 in. About a minute and a half later, Lapointe scores to tie the game at 2. 3 minutes after that, Rene Corbe scores to give Colorado the lead.
Hey, it's funny thing about Rene Corbe, right? Like, hey, like that. And this is the hockey circle. So when I went to Calgary, rented me his house for those 2 years I was in Calgary.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude, good dude. Like, I mean, we put, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
like
love
when
hockey,
I was
man.
like
Hockey's
2004.
so
You guys are crazy asses,
And
dude.
he-
Hey, good dude, man.
right,
Tried to literally kill me.
Yeah.
Great dude.
It's so funny.
That's the warrior mentality.
Like when
But
D-Mac
good,
said
good
that
looking
ball-
out, great. Like couldn't ask for like what a nice. I hated him on the ice, but you know that's the whole thing. But I got, yeah. Anyways, go back to the game.
No. In between all this, Keenan Holmstrom, they go at it. Aaron Ward, Severin, they go at it again. And then you get in a tussle one more time with Adam Deadmarsh.
Yep.
Take us through that.
We threw down. I think it was like it might have been off the draw.
What was the build-up?
Center or
verbally?
what? No, just my because he fought Vladdy. So I'm coming back at him for touching, you know, Vladdy or whatever. You can't do that. And Deadmarsh's tough. Fought him a few times. He got crushed by Jovanovski, concussion that sort of twisted his career and stuff like this. But he was a tough competitor as they come. But it's just gladiators, right? That's what it is. So I'm trying to, you know, stick up for, you know, you're not allowed to touch Vladdy or fight Vladdy or the
So all of this is remnants of what
it's
happened.
It's all remnants to whatever else, right? Like calming him down. He's a great player, so just part of the game.
A couple minutes after that, after you guys fight, Jamie Pusher, Uwe Krupp, they get in a fight.
Yeah, I mean two big guys. There's Push with the second of the night.
Like it's heavy. It's a heavyweight card tonight. All of a sudden,
it's
right?
big boy. I mean, you got to step up and not necessarily like heavy weights, but like everybody's doing what they need to do.
Deadmarsh got his 32nd goal at the 13:34 mark. Colorado's up 4-2. Now, low key, D-Mac, you know how I operate.
Yeah,
And
you know how I operate.
I'm
like,
thinking.
fuck, I just fucking fired the kid up. I just got in a fight with him and he goes out and scores. You know what I mean? Did I fire him up improperly? But that's what I tell everybody. It wasn't the way that the game played out and the resilience to the game. It wasn't as if it was like a cakewalk or, you know, we solved everything. Because as you're breaking it down, what are we down 4-2?
You're down 4-2, and I'm thinking, again, this is, I believe, 19-year-old Neil at the time is thinking, man, they're going to lose this game. Are we going to go to Canada this weekend and get after it? They need to come back and win this game. Like, that's kind of what's going through my mind. But then Nick Lidstrom scores on the power play with 20 seconds left in the second period. And that, D-Mac, like, I know the fight and everything like that, but you know how I operate.
Well, but
that goal was the turning point of that game, I thought.
So, again, keeps you in it where you would think that with momentum, but then go to the third period.
Correct.
Because that wasn't it. You would expect that to be, but you're hoping you're fired up and stuff like this. But
Because
again,
I am excited, and then Kamensky scores again,
prick.
like a minute in.
He's so good. He was so good.
And you don't think about him first.
You forget.
Yeah.
Right? But he was.
But that's how good this Avalanche
That's
team
what I'm
was,
saying.
and that's why I didn't think you guys were going to do it. Real talk.
Understand. So he makes it 5-3.
Yes, and then now I'm pissed off again watching.
It's 5-3. About 10 minutes left. Right.
Yep.
And here's what I want to know: who left? Who left the building that night early? Come on, own up to it. Somebody left early.
I was
'cause they
home
were
watching it.
pissed off.
Shout out Past Sports, by the way, which makes me laugh because everyone that like hates on FanDuel Sports, you did this already with Pass, like, and there was no pirate streams back then, Spenny.
Yeah.
You paid your money for Pass Sports.
Yeah.
There was no either that or you didn't watch it. Like, those were your choices. But anyway, that being said, I'm home watching it on TV, and I'm thinking that's it. You guys are cooked. But then Martin Lapointe at the 8:27
Bulldog.
mark. Yep. From Sergey, by the way.
Big
Shout
goal.
out.
Big goal.
And then about 40 seconds later, Brendan Shanahan. His
Banks it in.
46th of the year.
Banks it in from behind the net.
From behind the net.
Right? Which at that point, it's like you're feeling it.
No fights in the third period, by the way.
No,
Matt.
because it's hockey. Right? You see how, and like that's so in a microcosm of what we watched with the Four Nations, right? Where the first game, you saw the fireworks and stuff. Second game, you saw like a game 7. Well, this has the implications in the same game of getting all the stuff out of the way, and then you got to play hockey and you got to win the game and figure that out, because they know the same thing, right? They're the big dogs, so they know if they can, that happens, but they still win the game, then they technically still have the best bragging rights because it's winning.
Correct.
So, yeah. So the fact of getting it to overtime, and the fact that the overtime rules were different, it was 5-on-5. I think it was 5-on-5 for 10 minutes. Is that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And at least we didn't have to wait long, right? What did I score? Like 30 seconds in, or?
Let me see the exact time of it.
It was it's at 4.
Oh, so it wasn't radio. I thought it was like first shift, but
39 seconds in. Yeah.
it was 39
Yep,
seconds.
39
So it was
seconds
first shift, and if you watch that goal, right, the sickest. Watch that little Larionov move at the blue line with that little put the puck between the guys, and it's just, and this was one thing, and I think that made Marty the point, and me, like with Shanny, is that we worked on different things like that, right? Like, so just, and the fact of being able to hit the net on the one-timer and throw it back through the 5-hole or whatever, like I said, right there, that embrace right there as the boys are coming in is that feeling of it's going to be all right. Don't know what it means. It's going to be all right there. And, what it meant, not just to the team, but to the city, to all the Wings fans everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, this is when the whole league went, oh, fuck, pulled off it, right? Like, we just felt this recently with our Lions. We're in a different stratosphere with our football team now, right? We're trying to get there, not quite there yet with the other teams. Right? Maybe the Tigers, but like stuff like that. But there's some hope that gave being at the end, because here's the truth of the matter. This regime, this Red Wings team now has to, and it might not be a brawl and physical or whatever, but they have to go through their adversity to get the black cloud off them, the black veil to whatever where they all believe and we all believe. Right? I think Tammy Chin said it earlier, is that they play with heart, like the team I'm talking about now plays with heart some of the time. That team played with heart all the time. And especially since that was the most galvanizing part. The United Nations were tough enough, right? We weren't Russian, Sweden, this and that this was a team. And we showed that to everybody else. And this was the worst for everyone else because of what it meant.
Manu, you mentioned huge move by Larionov at the blue line. I mean, yeah, the dude was elite, like elite.
It's a Hall of Famer, guys.
Adis 411, Bowman mixing up the lines.
I played, and that's like I said before, but my stats in that year, that 96-97 season, I had my career high 19 goals, 30 assists. I played 14 games with Larionov and Shanahan, and I had 7 goals and 7 assists. Contract year, though.
I love contract year.
No, the next one was. So, might have whatever that worked out to. Everything always plays out the way that it should, in my opinion.
You know what my takeaway was when Spenny played that clip of the goal and they show Scotty Bowman coming over the bench, like after the game was right when the game ended, when you guys scored the goal. That look on Scotty Bowman's face.
He knew. He knew.
D-Mac, that made me. I'm not bullshitting you,
right?
here, man. I'm not kidding you.
I see it.
When I saw the look on his face, I said, "We are going to win, for real." Off that game, off an overtime goal, I believe that immediately.
And it's why you go to Scotty's emote right here.
Look at that.
And the
He tapped
little
the board.
tap,
Yeah,
that
for
little
real.
dude. That's the most emotion that he would say. But it's like, okay, and I think it's like these guys, because I always talk about this, and you don't realize it at the moment, but that his leadership was to pit us against him, right? But always having our backs, right, as a team. So the fact that, and he'd been there before and he'd won so many cups and stuff like this, but I think that what he realized right there is these guys, that double knock is where this is where I expected us to be.
And there it was, and there you guys were, as a matter of fact. And then, as we know, the Red Wings certainly would go on. I do want to talk about, when we come back, it's 28th anniversary of Fight Night at the Joe, for those of you that don't know. You seem to be enjoying the discussion. People are pretty passionate about it in the chat. I want to talk about the after, the after effect and what it's done for D-Mac's life and what it's, all of it that goes on. And then later on, with your battles and stuff like that too, I do want to touch on it. So real quick, Steve-O baby, Neil, I was 17 years old watching the Wings Avalanche game on TV. Darren was beating the hell out of you. My first swear word ever was kick his ass, Darren. So you stirred emotion like that. Tell him about jars.
Absolutely. I stir emotions at jars too. All right, Woodward Sports fans, whether you're hitting a game or simply just chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest lineup of rec cannabis products. They've got over 30 locations across the state. Repping Michigan in a big way. 9 locations are right in Metro Detroit, so there's always one nearby. If you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, get ready. New stores are coming your way soon. Go to jarscannabis.com to see where you can get your favorite product today. The Darren McCarty brand is what I would say. Jars Cannabis. Tell them where you got it.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
At Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather, neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
All right, hour number 2, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. We have Spencer Raxter in the building. Chase is here on sound. And all of you in the Woodward Sports chat thread, you guys have been pretty emotionally charged about it. I appreciate it. It's certainly something that you guys seem to enjoy. So I like doing it, and I love doing these long-form discussions with people. And D-Mac and I have never really gotten a chance to do it like this before. D-Mac, what do you have going on around all this? Anything that people can get involved with, or anything that you have, going on? Because I know you do a lot of events. I'm actually kind of surprised that you're here today. I know you got something coming on tonight.
It's important, I think, to have this conversation. You know what I mean? To be here today, and I haven't, I didn't, a lot of people would have done lives or stuff like this, but I thought that this was the best format because of the conversation, over very rarely do you get to have these conversations, not only with the person that you work with in a sports show, but one of your buddies.
Right.
So to have this conversation, I thought it would be different. I got a bunch of stuff. I get to go. I got to actually leave early and run down to LCA. Got to do something with Zach Myers from Shinedown. So I know that they're coming back into town. Got a couple other things. Like I said, I got a private thing later on tonight. But a couple interviews to do and stuff like this just to talk about it. But, to me today, this year is about where everybody else was. Or what you remember.
Yeah, and people have been sharing
and
it.
Different, and it's great. So I think that
first swear words ever uttered.
Yeah, right. Or allowed, or like in the house that it was like that moment to explain. But I don't know. It's just sort of surreal. So I guess it's like maybe it's because I'm a grandparent now. You sort of look things a little bit different and try to take everything sort of in. So I know that. Like I said, I always try to leave breadcrumbs of different things like questionable teases where these are obviously the Sweet Revenge from the Minton State, obviously Woodward Sports merch and stuff like this. So, and I will continue to sign that fight photo In fact, this weekend up in Vehicle City at the Dort is a big card show. So Draper, Kosher, and myself will be signing. I know Braylon's up there too.
Yep.
So, just being available. And that's why. So a lot of this, and Chase can speak to this because he was at the last show. But I go over a bunch of this stuff from my perspective to my comedy show. So if you see me coming around doing the Slapstick Comedy Tour, the DMAX show, you'll probably hear my perspective or even more of this game and stuff like this, because it was such an integral part for all of us. And I think that as the narrator, Neil, I always said, right, the movie 300, right, Gerard Butler, the stuff like that. I ain't Leonidas. I'm the one-eyed narrator that they sent back. I'm the guy that survived to narrate the story, right? I was there, stuff like that, an integral part of it. But that's how I always look at it. So it's always, to me, this day, now more so, is about the connection with everybody else.
So let's do this then, this little segment here. We'll kind of move through this somewhat quickly. So you guys do that, you quote-unquote slay the dragon or whatever, and to you start the playoffs, playing St. Louis. Man, turns out it's not going to be easy again. So but that's the nature of the NHL playoffs.
But in that vein, right? What we just battled through of Colorado, of could we beat them? Can you get by your adversary? St. Louis never could do that to us. Chicago could never do that to us.
But they did win game one.
Phoenix, no, I understand, but that's why it's series. That's why we don't play football. That's why it's not one game. They're allowed to win. They're going to win, more than that. They did win game one. And I think that's the experience or whatever, because we've lost in certain times. It's the confidence. And it's never easy. Like the 4-game sweep in the next series of Anaheim, which was a total of 6 games with the overtime, wasn't easy.
Right. But it's funny, D-Mac, because I feel as though, like, working in sports and obviously being a sports fan my whole life, I feel like we've lost sight of that. And I don't know if that's a generational thing, Chase, where when you win a championship, you escape. Show me a champion somewhere along the line in any sport, they escaped one. Like, it's not linear. Like, why is everything so linear now, Chase? Like, it's going to be hard. Like, you think you're going to lose at times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everybody thinks, like, it's always just going to be a cakewalk. And, like, you hear it every offseason where, like, they're, like, crowning 3 or 4 champions in whatever sport they're talking about. Like, this guy's going to be MVP. This team's going to go to the Super Bowl.
It never plays out that way.
There's only one winner every year, and there's 31, 32, however many teams are in your league that are crying, upset, and mad because, like, they didn't get their shot, or when they had their moment, they messed it up in some way.
Did you guys feel that, D-Mac, in that St. Louis series? Because I don't want to say you were in danger, but it was sticky. It was very,
no,
very
it was
sticky.
The biggest goal of that series was Drape Shorty on Grant Fuhrer 5-hole, whatever, like that. Like, no, St. Louis, don't get it twisted. They always played us tough. They always took us to the rim, but we always had the confidence of beating them in 95 too. So we had that finger on top of them, so to speak.
Then you fast forward to the next round, the conference semifinals, as you just touched on, a 4-0 sweep over the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim at the time. That was certainly not your typical 4-0 sweep. 3 wins in overtime and a 5-3 win in Game 3. But, whatever. They were pesky, but in the end, you guys were never in any kind of danger in there. And then you go to it. And then it's y'all in Colorado, the conference finals. The big stage is set, and you guys had the belief, right? You knew. Even they won Game 1 too.
Well, that's the whole thing. But in saying that is sometimes, and this from covering sports, is when you lose and you play. We played a great game that first game, and it was like sort of like the fact of we still had a lot of confidence. Right, and drawn from it, and plus we were on the road, so we were supposed to win. You're just supposed to split in the first 2 games, right? So the fact is that we won Game 2 was the biggest part of that series, right? Because you want to just split going on the road. But the confidence we had at game one we lost, I remember that. He's like, no, they ain't, no, not this time. Not this time.
Yeah, and it was because I remember thinking that. I was like, oh, no, here we go again. But in the end, you guys took the next 3, and we knew at that point.
But it's never, right? It's never easy going into game 5 in their barn and stuff like this. But that's why game 6 was like a game 7. When you play home in game 6, you got to treat it like a game 7 with home ice advantage. So I still remember being up 2-1 and then Shanny hitting that empty netter. And the best part about that, winning that game and game 6, right? And I remember this till the day I die, is I'm always the last one off the ice, right? Remember our top 5 list last year? And waiting, so Joey used to go before me, and I come up, I give him a big hug, and I go, Papa, because that's his thing, and I go, this is awesome, bro. And he just whispers in my ear, he goes, next one's even better.
And then
that's all he said.
And then the next one obviously was better, sweeping the Flyers. And that, I know that the Devils series in '95 was, quote, a foregone conclusion, right? That's what I thought. That's what all the fans thought. Turned out it was different, but not that one. That one, there was too much. There was too much for the Flyers to deal with.
Here's the whole thing. But here's the whole thing. But Neil, go back to it. But you say that, but everybody else treated us like we were New Jersey, and treated us like the Legion of Doom and Lindros and these big bad, and still, because of the Eastern Conference, because of everything else, right? Because of what they're supposed to be tougher, that it didn't matter, that the Western team couldn't do it. And I tell you this, there's one of my favorite photos is of the opening face-off of the 97 Cup, and it's the grind line, me, Drapes, and Maltz on the ice, and I'm like this, and it looks like I'm loading up my elbow pad like that. I'm like this, right? We're going to go. And I remember that first shift, I almost put Peter Svoboda into the 5th row, right? But then, when you got Joey Kosher backhand dangling, Maltz and Drapes,
it's a wrap.
2-0, whatever, like, we owned them, and they didn't have the goal. We just knew it. And I tell everybody going into, because we won those first 2 games, and then coming back home and pumping them 6-0. Game 4, never had that feeling of like I know we're gonna raise the cup. I didn't know how it would play out, and it played out the way that it did, right? Scoring the Stanley Cup clinching goal, but it just one of the greatest feelings.
One of the greatest goals in the history of the NHL. Like,
I think it's number 2. Spenny, I think it's number 2.
Yeah.
Come on. No. Like, just, yeah, I mean, like I tell everybody, I beat one guy one-on-one my whole career. It's all timing.
Drew in the chat, Neil forgets how insane the Legion of Doom was. No, Drew, I don't. As a matter of fact, maybe perhaps you forgot, Sergei Fedorov, 3 goals, 3 assists, 4 games. It's a wrap. They didn't have the firepower, bro. Like, even their best wasn't close to the best that they were facing.
See,
and as D-Mac said, they didn't have the goaltending.
So here's the whole
thing. They were cooked.
Here, let me go a little bit like behind the curtain to whatever else. Do you know why we were so effective to play against Eric Lindros and those guys? Because Drapes, Maltz, and myself had all competed against them in junior for a few years. So we knew the side, whatever, but we also know the blind spots. We also know the skate with his head down. We also know to frustrate him. Thank God he scored with 17 seconds left or whatever, his first goal of the series to make my goal, the Stanley Cup clincher in Game 4. But they had butt kiss.
Yeah.
Because that was so much more important to shut it down. And then when we can let Sergei be Sergei and Stevie be Stevie, Shanny be Shanny, look out. And then you got fucking Vladimir Konstantinov just wrecking Hall of Famers and Dale Howard-Chuck at the blue line. Like the most vicious hit I've ever seen, car crash to whatever. And when that happens in Game 4, you just know it's over.
We'll
took their will. We took their will. That's what that team did. That team, no matter what, just kept fighting uphill and just taking other teams' wills.
We're going to go to the break right now, but it is just funny to me, and I know I'm a simp for the man, but I don't care. Through all this, the March 26th, there's Sergei, goal, assist, 7 shots. The Stanley Cup, there's Sergei, 3 goals, 3 assists in 4 games. Like, it's just never involved with anything, just
But he's
There
not
he is.
supposed to be.
But he's not supposed.
Dude, thank you, Neil, for
works.
saying, "Hey, D-Mac, way to do your job,"
Yeah.
and the fact that Sergey's on the score, like that's the pride too, that these guys aren't involved in the garbage. Then I'm doing my job.
I love you, D-Mac, but I love Sergey Fedorov.
I know you love him. That's it. I don't blame you.
He's so good looking, though. All right, tell about Mark White.
It's a white skates, bro. I could never compete.
It's fair. It's fair.
I got red.
Mark White, if you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. You can save up to $5,000 your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Visit Mark White at markwhitesells.com or call him at 248-290-8242. Mark White, he will get you in your dream home. Mark White should be your first choice if you're looking to buy or sell your home.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2024 Envision Avenir for only $299 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $229 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $799 per month. Go to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive. Vroom, vroom.
All right, back at it. Big D Energy, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty here in the house, and we're talking March 26th, obviously, because it's the anniversary of the fight night at the Joe. And D-Mac, we have something special for you.
You do?
Our good friends at Jars, in particular, Allie stopped by the studio here today from Jars. They have a little package for you.
Really?
We'll bring this over. This is a little anniversary edition unboxing here. So shout out to it's the Players Edition. The premium Bud Box from Jars. And that's for you, D-Mac.
In honor of you turtling Claude Lemieux today, Jars wanted to send you a gift and give you a nice box of goodies. And
Thanks, Allie.
when I walked in the studio, I have never seen a more childish, cheesy grin than seeing what's in that box.
It's really simple. To get to my hearts through my endocannabinoid system.
That.
All right. Oh, look at this box. What a
Yeah.
great. Oh, shit.
So I'll step
Damn.
aside, do your unboxing.
Yeah. What did Jars
Oh.
send over, D-Mac? What do we
Okay,
got?
so, wow. So it's some of the best producers in the state. Actually, one of my favorite growers, obviously, in the state is Loud Flower, right? So they got their garlic cocktail, which is money. So good. So we got some of the best grow. We got the Loud Flower, the High Tech, Pressure Packs, Clout King, Dope, Fear of the Booth. That's a good one. Red Eye Cannabis. Oh, Peninsula Gardens too. That's the electric peanut butter cookie. That's in my Rhoda. So,
It is Christmas morning for Darren McCarty here
this
today.
makes it all right. So I appreciate the love and the support from all of you. If you want to, remember, if you want to get rid of your cannabis, give it to D-Mac. Anyways,
Shout out to Jars.
no,
bud.
that
That's
is
very
shout
cool
out
of
to
them.
Jars. That is elite. I appreciate it. That like that. It does mean a lot. It means a lot to me, and that will be put to good use.
The Players Edition, man. There you go.
Players Edition. I might have to do a video on that.
There you go. So, but yeah, again, shout out to Jars, man. Good partners here.
Yeah.
With Woodward Sports, no question. D-Mac, let's kind of wrap this thing up then. as the years have gone by, this has become a huge part of
Thank you, Allie.
Yeah, thanks, Allie. Great to see you, by the way. Shout out Jars. As the years have gone by, this certainly has had a major impact in your life. It's kind of come full circle. I love that you and Claude do the autograph signings, do the retellings, and do all that. It's always shown me hockey guys are different in that, and I've told you this 100 times, and I've told the audience this 100 times. You literally try to injure each other. Literally. That's what you guys are out there trying to do. But there's always a code attached. Nobody does it the wrong way. And even through everything that's happened, now not everybody.
And if you do it the wrong way, and remember, if you remember anything about what March 26, 97, because in life and in sports, bad things happen, right? But you can never lose respect for a fellow human being. The fact Claude Lemieux did not apologize, not that he hit Chris Draper, not that the fact that he broke his jaw and did all that. It's the fact that there was no remorse, and that was outside of the game, right? So that's why karma, that's why everything played out. Now, what you're talking about is life and a human being and being a man. And you know what? The one thing that I respect out of anybody, and I say this too, if you are on the ice today with Claude Lemieux and you turn your back, you are an idiot. But off the ice, I'll turn my back. Why? Because he's earned my respect, because he has been accountable to understand through conversations, and the fact that sometimes, people in the game aren't the way they are out of the game, but they have to do the work to prove it. Now, to me, he's earned that respect because of what I've seen in his actions. Now, I don't give a flying fuck if you don't like him. Or you're like my best friend, Chris Draper, who says, fuck this guy.
And for those that don't know, go over that dynamic.
Oh, so go watch the end of Unrivaled, right? Like, and I know that they've talked or whatever, but at the end of the day, Chris Draper says, no, I don't have respect for him because, and I get it. If you did that to me and didn't apologize right away, fuck you the rest of your life. That's not my role, right? My role in this and to whatever else is the human part. And if I, Darren McCarty, as a human being, is going to ask for second chance, and that maybe some of the actions of my past, aren't who I am today, then why do I not afford somebody else that opportunity, right? Even if it is the person that I wanted to take off the face of the earth. Like, to me, that's just where we're at. So he's earned that to me. Now, the reason I did the interview for the 25-year anniversary, and the reason that Unrivaled and stuff like this, is for you to make your own opinion. I don't need to make an opinion for you. I'm going to give you my side of it.
Yep.
Right, and that's it. And I think that we understand that in 28 years later, that like the gravitas to it. Because at the end of the day, if you're Claude Lemieux, I mean, like, what are you thinking as far as you change the absolute trajectory of a franchise? Like, that's you, bro.
Right.
Right? I mean, a lot of things had to play out for it, but you were the catalyst for it. So you got to live with that. It's sort of like, in lack of a better term, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's a Pontius Pilate thing, right? Mm-hmm. It really is.
Justin Station in the chat. That electric peanut butter cookie is fire from Peninsula Gardens.
I know it is. So. It's on my rota.
Mike G. Claude would have never apologized, though. He's not cut like that.
That Claude, game Claude, in Warrior Claude, in thing.
A different person.
Yes. Retired, look back, see whatever else, gravitas, Claude. Because what happened in that, not only it had rippling effects, that's why you need to watch Unrivaled, into Canadian hockey, into his career, to whatever, because it was unacceptable that he hit him from behind, and the fact it wasn't just me.
The officials that were on the ice tell you that when you tell this, D-Mac, today, here's the
fact that I got 4 minutes for roughing.
The fact that an official turned his head to it because he was on the ice when it happened.
Well,
and saw what happened.
I'm just giving you the facts that it was that's just the facts that they were on. So you'd have to ask them what they're
correct. I'm not asking you to speak for them.
I just know that I wasn't supposed to score the overtime goal, and I think everything would have been okay for everybody.
That is electric, by the way.
That's so you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's tone. That's as D-Mac tone as I can get. Sorry, Devo.
Tammy Chin, I hated Claude Lemieux, the player, but Claude was one of the nicest guys that I've ever had the chance to work a signing with. So, yeah, that is out there. Any plans in the mix for you and Claude to kind of run that back at all? Or is that a one-time thing?
No. There's always conversations and stuff like that, but I would look towards the next thing that we do. Will be around my cannabis brand, or it'll be for the 30th anniversary. So probably a couple of years or whatever.
That was so sweet. That was such a cool thing to be a part of.
Dude, and because the and here's the thing, right? The one thing I could say about Claude Lemieux, and when you see him interview, when we sat down and talk, or when we do the watch party, not only did he come in and stand up in front of this is a guy, how can you not respect it where he walks in where he's the most hated or whatever, just to give the side, but the genuineness, right? When he says, I don't remember playing the second and third, right? Like concussed. I mean, that made me feel good. Right? No, yeah, of course, stuff like this, but to hear him go through and he'd never watched the game, but to be able to open up and do that, to me, that was therapeutic for me, also too, just to be able to, for everybody, and I commend everybody who was there, because I couldn't, that's what I love about the respect. Yeah. We're willing to hear you out, and that's to bring that to fruition. So I'm sure, Neil, that we'll plan on doing it again.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Hoof-Hearted. When you are out there on the ice, you have to turn into a different person to an extent. If you know, you know. And Hoof, that's always been my thing. The people, when NFL players, after their career's over, they go kind of a certain way. And it's easy for us to say, well, how can you do that? Why would you be like? We have no concept. When you, D-Mac, when you step off that bench and step out onto that ice, you are taking the ultimate risk. NFL guys, you are built different to be between those lines. It's not just talent. At that point, it's makeup, it's the way you're wired, it's all of that. You do turn into a different person because you have to be. You have to be a different person. You won't make it out there.
No,
you won't make it.
No, there is, but there's also there's the code, right? Like you said, there's always this code to play against, and that's why we see some of the best games. Why was the Canada-US so with the fight, and why did it feel so good? That felt like a real game because you had everything in there, but the competitiveness. Because that's what brings it out. So it's about pushing that line and push it without crossing it. Whoever does it the best wins.
All I know is the Wings are 5-10 since that, and Larkin hasn't looked like the same dude, and Raymond hasn't looked like the same dude, and I know everybody was all hyped up about it and hopped up about it. In retrospect, I didn't like it.
What's that?
The whole Four Nations thing. I didn't like that 2 weeks.
So again, what I would say is that be better. So that goes to show your ineptitude of your maturity. That you're going to use that as an excuse or it's going to get in your way. Come on, please. Tell me you're not a top 4 team without telling me you're not a top 4 team.
Fair enough. All right, let's take the break. When we come back, we will we'll go the other way, I guess, on the rig. What time are you cutting out, D-Mac?
12:50. I want to do top 5 though.
All right, we want to do top 5 when we get back. Is that cool? We locked? We loaded?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's do. What was it? Top 5 upsets, right?
Yep.
Can't wait for this one. This one's
gonna
be a lot of fun.
In life.
Hell, there'll be a couple sports ones mixed in there because they are incredible. But we are definitely going to do it. Let's talk about merch, everybody. Shop.woodwardsports.com. That is the move. You want to get some DMAC anniversary wear. Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. The Darren McCarty Turtle Boxing Club, established March 26, 97. I saw a DMAC Turtle Claude because 100,000 of you were there. So honor it with a hoodie sweatshirt as well. All new DMAC shirt designs. Shop.woodwardsports.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Nova, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Feldman Chevy in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. The deals for March are up there. The clock's ticking, though, everyone. You want that 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew and lease it for $199 a month? Boom, scan the QR code on the screen above my head. Or do you want an SUV, the Equinox perhaps, for $249 a month plus tax on the lease? Scan the QR code above my head. If you want the very best car buying experience in Detroit, backed by the Feldman Auto Group that's been around since 1996, that does great charity work with the Children's Miracle Network Hospital here in Michigan. Scan the QR code on the screen. Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's numero uno Chevy dealership. All right, keeping it pushing, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, the anniversary, March 26th. That was a great conversation. Really, really enjoyed it. Tammy Chin, it's hard to be a Red Wings fan right now, but today made it a little bit easier. I hope so, and we'll discuss that. Mike G, D-Mac, this has been the best show ever. Earlier, somebody said in the chat, glad I don't have to hear about how hockey hurts the ratings. I mean, it did a little bit, but I don't care because people are passionate. As my good friend Darren McCarty says, give me passion over, math or all of it. Yeah, give me passion. And today was about the passion, and people were passionate, and enough people were passionate.
And connection.
Connection. That's
all
it.
of us.
I feel like we had a connection because we haven't had a chance to talk about it. I wanted to give my spin on it, which I kind of did because it's unique when you're around sports and you live in it and you travel with teams and stuff like that. You see kind of the behind the scenes deal, and all the math checked out. Everything you kind of confirmed. I wasn't there, but you kind of confirmed my vibes on it just from having the experience of it. You guys ready for Top 5 Wednesday?
Oh, yeah.
Top 5. Why is it a Top 5 list, Spencer?
It's half as boring as the Top 10.
There you go. And today, Top 5 upsets in life. This should be fun. Batting leadoff, as always, Mr. Spencer Raxter's your Top 5 upsets of all time.
All right, my Top 5 list, my Top 5 upsets of all time. At number 5, I have USA men's hockey versus the Soviets. I mean, I had to put a sports one in there because the Miracle on Ice, like, come on.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. At number 4, I have Ichigo versus the Soul Society. He was immortal. He was barely a Soul Reaper. He was a substitute Soul Reaper. And he goes in there and he just absolutely dominates Gorosei 13 captains, absolutely beating the odds to save Rukia from her execution. Yes, Neil.
What are you talking about?
It is from Bleach. It is an anime. One of the big 3. Yes, Neil.
You answered that. It's from anime. Okay,
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Proceed. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so, he's slept on. He is the chosen one, but at this point, you didn't know he was the chosen one. He was just a substitute Soul Reaper. Then he goes in there and he takes care of business. And then at number 3, I've got Orenthal James Simpson versus the people of the state of California. Come on. He basically had the blood on his hands. And, the gloves didn't fit, so you must have quit.
When you should have known, though, that wasn't an upset? Didn't that get the feel of, like, a huge underdog, but the betting line's only plus 135?
Yeah,
and you're like, how can that be?
They knew something.
Yeah.
And Johnny Cochran came in there with the Chewbacca
No, Neil, it was
and
plus 220 till the glove didn't fit. Then it was right down to plus 135.
Yeah. After they told him to put on the gloves, woo.
He did remember, he's like... He's trying to put that glove on, dude. Come on.
You know, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. And that was definitely upset. At number 2, I have Helen Keller versus the odds.
Explain.
Like, personally, I don't believe in Helen Keller. I don't think she's a real person or either.
And if she was, she wasn't blind and deaf?
She wasn't blind and deaf, or everybody lied about it. Like, she flew a plane, apparently. First of all, that's just irresponsible to allow someone who is blind and deaf to fly a plane. So I like to think they like put her on a soapbox in the backyard and like blew a fan in her face and were like, "Look, you're flying a plane." I don't think she exists, but if she did, her tales are pretty insane. And then at number 1, the greatest upset of all time.
That's right.
The upset that started it all. America taking down Great Britain in the Revolutionary War. Those goddamn beans and toast eating, spice stealing, fucking taxation without representation ass pussies thought they could do something. But 13 little colonies stood
with farmers.
With farmers.
And muzzleloaders.
And they went out there and they took care of business. And started everything that we love today.
America versus Great Britain shows you coaching matters.
Coaching matters.
Coaching matters.
Absolutely.
That tells you all. Chase, I'm looking for one more time. Yes! Freedom isn't free, everybody. Chase, I always look forward to your list.
This isn't as good this week. I made some last-minute amendments. I wasn't feeling too good about it, so.
He's calling a mail-in. He's calling.
All right, well, Chase, we'll be the judge of that. Chase, your top 5 upsets of all time.
Number 5 is 2007 App State. I don't like Michigan. I'm very open about it, and it's solely to do with all the little annoying fucks I went to school with. Half of them probably can't even spell Wolverines, yet they choose to root for that school. So I loved seeing them cry all the time, anytime Michigan lost. That was the beginning of what was their end, and what I thought like the beginning of a new just life of enjoyment in sports for me. Number 4, 2016 MTSU. Fuck Sparty too. MSU told me I am not good enough to go there. Well, fuck you, MSU. I took that personally. So
you weren't good enough to go to the 2016 Sweet 16 either.
Yeah, exactly. You weren't even good enough to go to the second round. So I took that very personally. I used to be a fan, but no longer. So fire up chips. Number 3, 2022 Rich Strike. This just came to mind because it was like the second longest odds in
I forgot about that
racing.
one.
I
That's a
remember,
good one.
Like there was nobody who bet on the horse. So
no, he was such an underdog. No one bet on him.
Yeah, literally, and that's why I was just like, oh yeah, no one made money on this one. Number 2, the Titanic sinking. I mean, the ship was unsinkable.
Yeah.
Great catch.
Titanic versus the iceberg.
Yeah.
And then this was a hot debate in our house. This is Survivor, the show. This is where it all changed. This season, heroes versus healers versus hustlers. When it comes to these game shows, growing up, I was a little chauvinist. I'd always root for the guys over the girls, just because, But
fair. You want your sex to win, baby.
But
Nothing wrong with that.
This mom, Chrissy, who was betrayed by her day one alliance mate Ben at the merge, like guns to the wall, she goes on and wins like the most consecutive individual immunity challenges by a woman, or period, by any individual in Survivor history. They changed the rules of the game because finally, after she just defies the odds, has Ben against the ropes, they changed the rules of the game so he can sneak his way into the final, and they could shoehorn him to the $1 million, because that's when it became all about the storyline and not about the outwit, outplay, outlast. That was the biggest sham, and me and my mom would get into heated arguments.
He's bent right now.
Because Chrissy deserved the fucking money.
I get it.
I don't care.
Injustice, bro.
Veteran. Support the
on
troops.
a Justice
Chrissy
March
earned
26th
the money.
day.
Yeah.
Injustice.
So that, like, as you can see, like, I just was getting riled up, and this list was making me mad and sad. So I didn't really like, diving into those emotions as much. But clearly, this is getting me riled up.
Even when he mails it in, it's electric.
It is electric. Chase, that was very, very on brand, man. Very on brand. Darren McCarty.
All right.
Your top 5 upsets of all time.
Yeah, my top 5 upsets of all time. Let me see where they are. Oh, they're up there.
Yeah.
Miracle on Ice.
Has to be.
Yeah. 1980. I mean, unbelievable. And the fact, don't forget, it wasn't just beating the Russians. They still had to beat the Finns, and they did. So there you go. Congratulations. Fall of Rome.
Yes.
Didn't see it coming. On the world. Didn't see it coming.
Delivery is everything, everybody.
Maz said it was unbelievable. But the way that it went down, Et tu Brutus and all that stuff. David versus Goliath. Epic. But dude, David was a badass mofo.
No doubt.
Badass mofo.
Landed the one
see
shot.
It coming, took the stone, slingshot, baby, done. Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson and Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey in sports.
They were stunning.
As upsets or whatever. That those were both unbelievable that we didn't see coming. And number one, I don't know if it was an upset, but the trajectory of how the game, like I say, you cannot write a better script to change the trajectory of an organization than what happened March 26, 97, out of any team, out of whatever, with all the gravitas to it. That was our fall of Rome.
There it was.
That was it.
No, you guys, it was an upset when you were down 4-2 in the third period. You probably would have got about 8-ish, 10-ish to 1 at that point if they were live betting back then.
Yeah.
So there it would have been.
And D-Mac on the game winner, you're plus 2,700.
$2,000,000.
Yeah.
All right, now it is time for my top 5 upsets here on a top 5. Look at that. Look at that photo up there, D-Mac. That's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple
Boys
guys,
with the belts.
take a couple belts. Golf.
We are available for rent if you want to win your golf tournament, by the way.
There it is.
We can come out
do
there and help
travel.
you. Yeah, we can travel, no doubt. My top 5 upsets. Number 5, Woodward against the Flagship. Total domination.
Oh.
Nobody saw that one coming, but look around any social channel right now, and you will see. You will see what's going on, so props to us. Number 4, the fall of the Roman Empire. I believe my colleague Darren McCarty said it best. Didn't see that one coming. They figured out a way to get water from the mountains down to the cities and all that kind of stuff. But
in reverse.
And up, yeah. But they took the slug in the end. Number 3, Buster Douglas. I was, as a young kid, I was stunned when that one happened. Mike Tyson was unbeatable. He was a Roman Empire of boxing. Yeah. He literally was. It was stunning to me. Number 2, James K. Polk back in 1844. Young upstart, big underdog candidate going against the popular Whig statesman Henry Clay. Remember the Whig Party back in the 1800s?
Oh, yeah.
They had it on lock. He had no shot. As a matter of fact, Clay himself said that his nomination, James K. Polk's nomination, must have been a joke. But in the end, he overcame. He won by 38,000 votes, by the way.
He remembered the Alamo, too, because he ended up winning the Mexican-American War.
Shout out.
No question. He presided over the compromise for the Oregon Territory, and as you said, the Mexican-American War, the latter of which resulted in the cessation of large amounts of Western territory, including present-day California and Nevada. But he was very popular, but he stuck to one term, so that was it. And look, this one here is more of just independent analysis. Look, you can love America, as we all do, but if you're honest with yourself, the fact that Vietnam was able to play America to a tie in a war is pretty impressive. On the road, defending home territory like that, you got to give it up to Vietnam, man. They did a hell of a job.
I mean, would you argue Korea got the same draw?
A couple of judges had USA ahead on that one. It was a controversial ruling. Like, if you go through the annals of time, USA won that one by a decision. Mm-hmm. But, you could, for those that watch the fight, you could make a case.
Split decision.
There you go. But yeah, a draw. Vietnam, America was a draw, right? Is that fair? Am I on base with that, Spenny?
Yeah.
I know you don't like it, but it's true.
Should have just torched the whole
Come on, Spenny. All right, there we go. And that is our top 5 upsets of Denver Blair. My grandpa said we won. I don't know. I don't know.
You're goddamn right, Denver Blair.
I was community college with this little Vietnamese girl. She was very cute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Love good Vietnamese girl.
Moving on, everybody. Please, let's get to the break. Let's talk about Buddy's Pizza, everybody, because Buddy's Pizza is elite. Buddy's Pizza created the best category for original Detroit-style pizza since back in 1946. 22 locations. There's always a Buddy's Pizza near you. Buddy's, a cornerstone of Detroit, dedicated community partner with local Michigan organizations like the Michigan Humane Society, Salvation Army, Detroit Zoo, and more. But the bottom line through all of it, the pizza's elite, as you see, and you can save 10% with the code 10meal. So go to buddyspizza.com, find the location closest to you, use the code 10meal, and that will get you 10% off your order. Buddy's Pizza, the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, D-Mac. I know you got to roll out.
I do have to run before I bring in my substitution. I just like to say on this March 26th, remember, payback's a bitch and karma is real. Have a great day, guys.
There it is. Maybe we'll talk Jared Goff.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Yeah, you do. You do got to let them know.
You're the go, D-Mac.
Certified boogeyman. Hey, D-Mac, thank you for everything you do for this network and everything you do for this city.
Appreciate you.
Love you, brother.
Stick.
Yeah.
What up, though?
What to do?
How you living, man?
In Mansion and Benz's. Giving ends to my friends, and it feels stupendous.
Yep. Skydog 722, some reaction to the top 5 upsets. Skydog 722, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned on one. So there you go. Burn. Vietnam's March 26 was when they turned around and beat Cambodia and China in a war, right after we left, overthrowing Pol Pot. So there's that as well.
Listen, a regular season loss. I mean, we're back-to-back World War champs.
Correct.
So the championship's what you want.
No doubt.
As well
we got the rings, right?
No, there it was.
America!
We didn't get a chance to discuss much in the sports realm, obviously, with the March 26 stuff going on. Steve O'Baby asked a question, though, and it's a great segue to what I wanted to talk about. Neil, is it amazing last year that nobody wanted to watch the Pistons? And I was one that told Lindsey Hunter, if I bet the Pistons were good, people would start watching again. Simply awesome. Stick last night, no Cade Cunningham. Was a game-time scratch. They played San Antonio without Wemby, without Fox, without their guys, too.
Yep.
Steamrolled them. It was never in question. It was over. And I said yesterday, we put the clip out. They don't get talked about enough.
No. But, they also were the worst team in NBA history last year.
Yeah, like 8 months ago.
Yeah,
8 months ago they were.
So you can understand why people didn't want, listen, you know the chat. The chat kind of lives and breathes and lets us know what's really hot, right? What's happening in the streets. You used to bring up the Pistons and be like, why the hell are we talking Pistons? What are you guys talking Pistons? Boring Pistons. Move on from the Pistons. They suck. What's there to talk about? So, I mean, you got to earn their street credit at some point, and they did it this year. But they won without Cade. So according to Flannel Sam and KG logic, they're better without Cade.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Wow.
Trade
I didn't
Cade.
think they could do anything without him.
Trade Cade, Stick? You're up for the playoff run?
No, I'm not trading Cade now. Are you stupid? If I get Wemby maybe or a similar return, would you take Wemby for Cade right now?
No.
No. Who would you trade Cade for?
There's not a ton. I mean, the heavy hitters that you know.
Who?
You know. Would you do him for Anthony Edwards? That's your guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would. That was the first name that popped in my mind when he said that.
Yeah. Would you trade him for SGA?
No.
So there's no one you trade him for.
Wemby is probably the only one that you could put.
Yeah, I'm just not.
Jokic? Would you do Jokic?
Jokic. I mean, those are the guys that you would talk about. It would only be one of those people.
It's crazy though to have that conversation, right? Yeah. Like, hey, who could you see in return? So if you can't come up with an answer, what you're telling me is you think Cade Cunningham is the best player in the entire NBA.
I think he's top 5.
I think he's got the most runway. Him and SGA.
Yeah.
And if you want to throw Anthony Edwards in the mix, I can't kill you on that. But like when you start talking about like Jokic, like that. That ball's rolling downhill.
Jokic is peaking. Obviously, LeBron, he's been in his prime for 20 years.
Yeah, LeBron's old as hell.
Yeah,
I'm not talking prime LeBron. I'm talking right now in the NBA. Yeah, like it's crazy to have this conversation, right? Like there's nobody in the NBA you would put over Cade right now.
There's the players that are peaking at the like height of their powers, like Luka and Tatum and Jokic. They're all.
So would you trade straight up for Luka right now? Would you?
I would not.
No, I would not. I think Cade could still
straight
grow.
up for Tatum. Would you right now?
No.
So it's not even with those guys. He's above those guys.
No, but that's what I was saying. Is there's players that are peaking at the top of their powers and going to be going down, and that's the Luka, Tatum, and Jokic. And then there's the Cade, SGA, Anthony Edwards, Wemby that are all going to be the top 5 players in the league for the foreseeable future, and they're still young.
The problem is the questions. You know what I'm saying? Like with Wemby, I know what Cade is.
Yeah.
I know what Cade is. And I know that he sells his body to the game. Like, and that's my issue with Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Doesn't sell his body. Does he do everything he can do physically to play NBA basketball?
No.
Neither did Shaq though. I mean, like that's
no doubt. Yeah. I get it. 100%
when your skills are that good, you don't have to dedicate. That's why Kobe's Kobe, right? He had the skills and the work ethic.
Nicholas Duncan, Stick, would you trade Cade for Bronny?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's LeBron James' son. He actually scored 19 points in a game they lost by 40. I hear he's the second coming of Bron.
Look out.
God, man, that flash in the pan game, like the amount of hysteria it caused in Bronny land. Like, see, I told you he was worth a second-round pick. It's like, nah, he wasn't.
Gaming Boy, Cade's the best pick since Zeke.
So if the NBA started today, all 30 teams, 32 teams in a draft, who's going number 1 overall?
Wemby.
Because of the hope,
yes.
Right? Because of the hope, because of the physical.
Because he's arguably the greatest prospect in the history of basketball.
Correct. I wouldn't because of health questions.
Yeah, Wemby's going number 1.
Okay.
I would not. And that's me. I would trade you the number 1 pick, Spenny, if I had it.
That's fair.
I would trade it. But that's just where I am. And the versatility of Cade and what his game is, that he will make every basketball play out there he is a Swiss Army knife that, oh, by the way, is a superstar too. I don't think people understand how rare he is.
Do you think it's because we're in Detroit that a lot of people are drinking the Kool-Aid on him like this? I mean, like you guys are literally sitting up here and saying he's the best player in the NBA.
No, he didn't.
With the best runway. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Nobody said he's the best player in the NBA.
If there's no one you would trade him for, you're telling me his value to you is more than that person.
He has the potential to be the best player in the NBA. Yes,
right. But when I list Luka, no, I'm not making that trade. But
Luka is better right now.
But would you make the trade?
No. But that doesn't.
So you don't value Luka as much as you do Cade.
He's the best player in the NBA. Nobody said that. He's not the best player in the NBA. I think he's top 5 right now. But he has the potential to be number 1.
Mike Reed says Cade or Wemby, number 1 picks. Where would he go, Spenny? Okay, say you're picking 2.
He would go in the top 5 for sure. I think it would be. I think Giannis might still be in there, but it's Wemby, SGA, Cade, Anthony Edwards, and then Giannis, Jokic. Those guys are still going. Luka's still going to be in there. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I gave you my reasons why. The versatility of the player.
Yeah.
What he can do. The fact that he has sold his body to the game.
Age.
The age, the runway, all of it. That's how I interpret it. That's why I would roll with Cade. And no, look, if I ended up with SGA, I wouldn't be sad. For sure.
It's one thing to say he's good. It's another thing to throw out all the elites and say, "Nah, I'm taking Cade." Like, to me, it's you're standing on business that you think this guy is not only the best, but has the best potential in the NBA moving forward.
Let's take this last break. I have a Red Wings question for you, Stick.
Uh-oh.
I do. Tell him about opening day, Spenny.
Yeah, tell him about opening day, Spenny.
Get down to opening day this year. It is the best.
Spenny got an open tab again
in Detroit sport. It's
Jesus.
my favorite day of the year. So come down and join us at Grand Slam Fest Friday,
Yes,
April
sir.
4th, starting at 9 a.m. in the Detroit Opera House parking lot. Get your tickets at GrandSlamDetroit.com. Like I said, best day of the year. Come have fun with us, party with us all day at Grand Slam Fest Detroit. It's just amazing. There's nothing better. Come join us. GrandSlamDetroit.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for Planet Fitness, my favorite gym, the gym I'll never not be a member at as long as there are gyms, because I'm looking out the window right here and I see a gym that is over $70 per month, and I'll never understand why I see people walking in there, because I've been with Planet Fitness for over 3 years, and $24.99 a month for a black card. I can go to any one of the 2,600 plus Planet Fitness in the world, no questions asked. It's convenient, it works. The latest equipment, they're upgrading equipment when I didn't even think they needed to upgrade the equipment, but they did anyway, because that's how they operate. The locker room's clean, the shower facility's clean. It's a part of my day, everyone, and I can go on about my day after my workout is done. Kids are on spring break, so I go to Planet Fitness after the show instead of before the show. It's easy, everyone. Planet Fitness, planetfitness.com. What are you laughing about? Stick in for DMAC here to wrap things up.
Joey just texted me and said, hey, did Jars stop by? I said, yeah, D-Mac almost cried.
Yes, he did, as a matter of fact.
No, I mean, listen, as tough of a guy D-Mac is, he's a sensitive fella too, and like those small gestures mean more to him than anything else you could do for him. And that's what really makes D-Mac D-Mac. The biggest badass on the planet is also one of the biggest teddy bears on the planet.
I'm surprised the Cade discussion here. Skydog722 Grommet, not as much as he's wondering about Spenny overrating Cade. No, there is. I don't know what more you need from the man, guys.
Yeah, he's just.
That's on you at this point,
that
bro.
That is on him, just being a hater for no reason.
No doubt.
I don't think I'm hating on him by asking who you trade.
Yeah.
It goes to show you where he's at.
Well, and it goes to show you the progression of that conversation, right? Like the whole issue with everybody bitching about what I said about Cade before this season in the offseason last year. The progression now to. That was a question asked. And who would you rather trade, right? Cade or Jaden Ivey? Now we're having the conversation. There's nobody I'd trade Cade for, period. And it's quite an evolution.
Somebody like Skydog that says things like that, it's just obvious that he doesn't watch Detroit Pistons basketball, and that's fine. Just don't speak on things you don't know.
What did he say, Spenny? If Gretzky can be traded,
he says I overrate Cade all the time. But then you haven't been watching what he's been doing this year. And that's
He's an
fine.
all-NBA player.
Go educate yourself.
Well, I do think there is a business approach to this that a lot of fans do forget. Like at the end of the day, these guys are commodities. They're tradable assets. They are assets, and so when anybody ever says anybody's untradeable, to me it's just like, you don't really wear a GM hat then, because there's guys like that GMs. If you take every single phone call, you're eventually going to find a deal that you like. Now, obviously, you don't take every deal thrown your way, but to say that anybody's untradeable is kind of tough, because if I came to you, all right, I'm going to give you Luka and 4 first rounds. Oh, okay, we're thinking, right? I'm not saying I'm diving in, but at least it starts a conversation. So this is America, baby. It's capitalism. Everything has a price.
And Steve Wilds, being a soft little girl in the chat, you can't have an opinion, Sky. Neil and Spenmo are right 100%. No, it's I can have an opinion too.
I like Spenny's getting heat for his
we
tone.
can disagree.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just people act like pussies. You can't have an opinion, so I'm always right. No, I can have opinion too, and they can be different.
Well, the funny part is this is an opinion-based thing that we do, so you have to have an opinion. Otherwise, it'd just be us talking nonsense up here. So, you got to have an opinion.
Nick Hedegem, when you're a true badass, you don't have anything to prove, and you are just cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
Speaking of which, no opinion needed, whether it's Skydog, Steve Wilds, or Spencer Axter. Kurt in the Woodward Sports Chat. El Mago, our starting center fielder.
Dude,
he's back, baby.
What if he's so good in center field? Like, what if he turns out to be Curtis Granderson Part 2? Or is he going to be Nook Logan? We don't know.
Too bad you can't steal first, huh? Speaking of that,
center field.
I know the Detroit media has been tweeting. I know we're going to talk about the Red Wings, but we won't. We'll get to that tomorrow. Comerica Park, Tony Paul had a tweet, your new look Comerica Park for 2025. They took the keyhole out, the strip of dirt between home plate and pitcher's mound. Reports are that the players requested that. So,
whatever.
Yeah, people are like fired up about it. I literally don't care if that's what I do what the players want. That's what I would tell them to do.
Like Maz was all fired up about the sign change.
Yeah, no Tigers script on the scoreboard.
It now says Comerica.
Of course Maz was fired up about that.
Oh, they're ruining the stadium.
I mean, I'd rather say Tigers, personally.
Who cares?
I'm not going to die on the hill.
Honestly, if they changed it and never pointed it out, if you went to Comerica, you'd never notice.
No doubt.
Like when I think they moved the Tigers off of there.
Yep.
Burn in the super chat. They're 100% trying to get Javi on the IR as soon as possible. Well, then they could just cut him.
Put him at catcher.
How about just release him? How about that?
They're just trying to find
a lot of money.
They're just trying to find a way to put their best players on the field at all times.
Yeah, you got to get your
is
defensive specialist out there.
Yeah.
Also, too, Tony Paul said the new luxury home plate club seating is still under construction.
Beautiful. Did you see Maz assaulting all the food there today?
Yeah.
Go on our social media. Apparently they did like a food review day. Maz, not even our Tigers reporter, puts himself on the list to go there. And Maz has just been eating all day long. And perfect. I guarantee he doesn't bring us any samples, Spenny. I guarantee it.
Not.
All right, fair enough then. I guess that's a good place to stop. Thanks for stepping in, Steve.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be filling in for Ryan today, too. So,
just getting warmed up.
Well, yeah. I was told earlier in the week I don't take over other shows, so I got to hit every show this week.
That's fair.
Got to hit every show.
For Stick, for D-Mac, for Chase, for Spencer, I'm Neil Raxter. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy.
Big D!
See you later.